Leilu Nishmat Sarah Sofa Bat Teoba. And Refuah Shalem for Adam Uriah Ben, I think it's Aviva.
Can we do one of the Hatufim?
And we should also have in mind the return of the hostages, one of the Hatufim. Which one? Eliah HaKohen Ben Sigalit. And also the Nishmat Miriam Bat Asnat. Rabotai, we're going to begin today the Zera Shimshon. Zera Shimshon, for those who don't know, is someone who didn't have children at the end of the day. So he put together his Sefer. Zera Shimshon is a Mekubal. And he said those who learn that and to remember him will have a zechut and children and parnasa and everything. And the books that they give out in English, Rabbi Zeltzer, Rav Nachman, is all about what Yeshuot people saw and stories. Today we're going to learn one of the Derush, one of the actual Derush of this week's Parshat. That is Derush Yud Aleph. So we'll find it. Okay. So, in the parasha, there's just a few pesukim, but the Gemara records and tells us an entire dialogue between Yaakov and Rachel. And the questions that Rachel asks and the questions that Leah asks teaches us how we are supposed to respond and react to certain types of people. We're going to see a pasuk. So the Derush begins literally an answer in the Gemara was Rachel tziniut, and the Gemara gives answers. And this is the Gemara's topic over here. We don't need to know about the question the Gemara asked. We're going to take the meat and potatoes from the answer. Gemara Bava Batra Perek Het Vayaged Yaakov LeRachel. So the pasuk tells us that Yaakov talks to Rachel. What happens over there? Amra lei. She says to him, It li Abba Ramah. I have a father that is someone who's deceitful. So the question was, Yaakov said, will you marry me? She said, yes, I'll marry you, but I got a problem. I have a father that's deceitful. Okay. Amar Allah, he tells her, Yaakov tells her, Umay Rammaute. How could he deceive me here? What could he possibly do? Amrale, she answers him, Itli achata de kashisha minai. I have an older sister. Velo mansibli mikama. They will not allow me to get married, the younger sister, before the older. Kind of sounds like a Bukharian Persian scenario. We're makpid, the older one first, then goes the next one. Okay? Amar Allah, he tells her, so before I say this pasuk, before I say the answer, the pasuk said that I'm related, Yaakov says, Achi aviyahu, I'm the son of your father's brother, which is not true. He used the word brother. It's not true. This father, that means Rachel's father, Rachel and Leah's father, had a sister. That's his mother. So he's a nephew from the mother. But the pasuk wrote, Ahi, the nephew from a brother. Why are you lying? So he says, Amar Allah, he tells her, Ahiv anna b'rama'ut. When it comes to trickery, I'm like a brother to that. I know how to deal with your dad. He says, I'm his brother when it comes to being deceitful. And here's where she asks the bomb question. She goes, I don't get it. Amra lei, she asks him, Umi Shari, is it permitted letzadike, for a tzaddik, lesagoye, like sugiyah, to be involved, b'rama'ut? Is a tzaddik allowed to be tricky, to be deceitful? So he says, yes. And I have a pasuk from David, it's in two places. It's my brother's bar mitzvah haftorah. It's in Tehillim, and it's also in Shemuel. Im navar titbarar. It's talking about Hashem, and it's talking about how you should react. And Hashem, he reacts with people who are pure with pure. Ve'im ikesh, and someone who's crooked, titpatal. Act with him in crooked. So we have to copy Hashem. Hashem tells us to do this. So Yaakov is telling his future bride, says, don't worry, I'm allowed to. And what did he do? Masar la simanim. He gave over to her the simanim. He said to her, three things to identify that it's her. Ad kan l'shono. Until here's the Gemara Bava Batra. Kuf Chav Gimel. That daf is an amazing daf, and it goes through everything. And this is way at the bottom, and I'm on the bottom. Yesh l'daktik. Zera Shimshon says, pay attention. Me hayta kavanat Rachel. What was she really meaning in that question? Shayta soveret, that she held the lo shari l'tzadike, that a tzaddik is not allowed to be deceitful. What kind of question is that? V'ha im ikesh titpalal kirahu titpatal. It's a pasuk. Why is she being better than the Torah? The Torah said it's okay. What kind of question is this that she's asking on the Torah? So really, we don't really understand what she's asking. Usvarahi, and it's also logical. Why should you allow someone to take make tricks of you? Why should we be taken advantage of? Unfortunately, in the non-religious world, some people think that way. They say, why is this rabbi answering me like this? You should be quiet. You don't know business. You don't know anything. Sit quietly. Put your head down. We'll walk over you and trample over you. Why is that allowed? Usvarahi, and it's logical. And then Uma Heshiva Yaakov. And what did Yaakov answer? He gave a pasuk. She said, you're not allowed to. He said it's a pasuk. What did they talk? What was that conversation? So, in order to understand it, the Zera Shimshon brings another midrash. Similarly, we say in the midrash al pasuk, ve'esop Lavan. Lavan gathered everyone, and then he made a party. Vayas mishteh. Vayesop Lavan. The pasuk says et kol anshe hamakom vayas mishteh, and we made a party over there for the wedding. Kol hahi laila. That whole night, havatzavachla. He was calling out, Rachel, is that you? Rachel, is that you? Vihi anyale, and she answered. She said yes. The whole night, poor Yaakov was so worried that this is going to be a trick. The whole night, besides for the three identifying signs, he kept going next to her in the wedding. It's dark over there, and he's saying, Rachel, is that you? Yeah. Rachel, is that you? Yeah. Okay. B'tzafra in the morning wakes up. Behold, it's Leah. Amar La, Yaakov tells her to Leah, Ramyata bat Ramaya, you daughter, you who deceitful daughter, and you're the daughter of your father was deceitful, and you're no different. Really harsh criticism. Lav Belelia, didn't that night, Karina Rachel, I called and said, are you Rachel? V'at anitli, and you answered me. You said yes. Amralei, now look at it. This is the second daughter of Lavan over here criticizing Yaakov. Amralei, Leah says, eat safar. Is there a safar could either mean a barber or either could mean someone who teaches Torah. Eat safar. The let le talmidim. Is there such a thing as someone who is the master and doesn't have students? You're no different. Lo kach havatzavach lach. Didn't you answer also avuch to your father when your father said, "Are you Esav?" Yeah. You asked for the bracha, and you said, yeah, I'm Esav. So I learned from you. The at anitle, you answered. At kan l'shono, that's the midrash. Kasha Leah, this is a question on Leah. Because v'chi b'shvil Yaakov, rima le'aviv, because Yaakov tricked his father, hutar la leram moto, so she now has a heter, you're no better, I can also do this? Is that really what Leah is all about? Elamai, we have to understand. We're going to bring one more story, a small story. Everyone knows the story from Gemara Berachot. Rav Huna, I'll say it outside, then we'll quickly read it. Rav Huna, he owned a farm. In those days, they had sharecropping, which means, let's say all of you wanted to work on the same farm with me. I said, okay, you can all work for free. You can put whatever you want on the land. Land's yours. Here's everyone for you gets free land. Just whatever you're going to grow, you give me a cut. Okay, that was the deal. That also includes anything that's not wanted but grows. For example, that grew. For example, branches. The branches that were cut and pruned to make the tree work better and look better, that also got a split, 50-50, or whatever the deal was. Rav Huna one day, selling his grapes, looks at all his, selling wine, looks at what all his wine turned into vinegar. That's the biggest loss you can imagine. Hundreds of dollars of wine per bottle now became $6, $2 vinegar. Terrible. So the rabbi said, go look at what you did. He said, I didn't do anything. I'm a tzaddik. He says, we heard that you didn't give branches to your sharecroppers. You kept all of them. Is that true? And he says to them, excuse me, they were stealing everything from me. I took a few back. They took everything, more than their cut. I saved a few pieces. And the rabbis looked at him and they said, even though you're not stealing, it kind of looks like stealing. You tasted stealing on your level, that's not good. This was Rachel question to Yaakov. What are you going to do? You're going to trick? You're a tzaddik. You can't. Look, Rav Huna. You can't. And he said, you're right. I'm not going to trick. I'm going to preempt. I'm going to prevent. So if I'm the sharecropper and you're stealing all my branches, I'm just going to put a camera. I'm going to say, guys, for security purposes, for your own, for training purposes, this call will be recorded, right? They want you to behave over there. I'm going to put a camera. I didn't tell you why, but I prevented somebody from stealing. That I'm allowed to do. I'm allowed to take preventative measures. I didn't go ahead and steal. I wasn't deceitful like Lavan would be. So let's see inside. We're going to see, because we're going to then talk about Lavan, and we're going to talk about Leah, and we're going to plug it all back in. So the case was, V'yesh Lomar. Here's the answer. The Amrinan Bibrachot. It says in the Gemara Berachot, Perek Kama, in the first Perek, Rav Huna Havo Le Arba'a Me'a Danei. He had 400 barrels, the Hamra, of wine. Itkif, it all switched over to vinegar. Amrulei, the Chachamim said, Hachish Sheminan Lan. This is what we heard about you. The Lo Yoav Mar Shab Shala Arise. You didn't give the branches to your sharecroppers, you kept some. Amrulei said, excuse me, Miko Shavik, Limide, did they leave me anything? Hakaganiv Lekule, they stole all of my branches, and I just saved a few. Amrulei, they told him, Hainu the Amri Inchi, this is what people say, Batar Ganva, if you stole from a Ganav, Genov Ta'amata'im, you tasted the taste of stealing. That even though you think you're in the clear, because they stole, and you think you have the right to take it from them, you should know you already tasted the taste of stealing. Atkan, that's the Gemara. Nimtzenu, we find. Lemedim, we learn. Sha'af lemisha gonev lanu. Someone steals from us, and anu yachalim lignov lo. You cannot steal back. Vehu adin baram ma'im. This is the same by deceivers. If someone deceives us, it is not permitted to deceive him. You're not allowed to do that. However, let's see. V'zohi kushiyat Rachel. This was the question of Rachel. Umishal b'tzadikim sagu yev ramaut. Tzadikim allowed to do ramaut, be deceitful. V'hahatam, but look over there. Rav Huna tried. It kifle arba me'ad danei de hamra. It all turned into vinegar. So V'teretz Yaakov, and Yaakov answered, V'hakra ketiv im ikesh tit patal. Pasuk says, if someone's crooked, you could act that way. Umay nokim kera. How do you understand the pasuk? Elavadai tzarach lomar. You have to say ke perush haritva, like the perush ritva. Amavshvili. He's a perush on the Gemara, written 500 years ago, and he explained this Gemara Bava Batra Zichron Lebracha. What do you say? The sharei lahen letzadike leme'ebad tatzdeke. Tatzdeke sounds like the word in English tactics. You're allowed to do tactics to prevent. The efshalehu is the horem ramauta deramai, that enables him to be protected from the deceiver. Aval ramonihu, but to go ahead and deceive b'midi achrini asur. V'imkein, and therefore, kishamar Yaakov l'Rachel l'ramot l'Lavan lo nitkaven ela hizaher shelo yignevu mimenu. I didn't want Rachel to be stolen from me, so preventive measures. I'm going to give you the codes. The three secrets. Ume'atan, from now, Amar Yaakov l'Leah, Atrim Yata, you were deceitful. Sha'ani lo remiti bach, I didn't deceive you. The at remit bi. Now, what did Leah do? Leah said, listen, I'm just like you. What did she mean by that? You went ahead to your father, and you said you're the Bechor. I'm supposed to get the Bechor. So therefore, I did what I had to do to get married to the Bechor. If you're telling your father you're the Bechor and you got the bracha as a Bechor, so then who's the rightful Bechor here? You. And who am I, Leah, supposed to get married to? The Bechor. So I did what I had to do. That was her answer. I'm no better than the master. I learned from you. That's what she said. Exactly, Leah was supposed to be for Esav, but Esav totally got rid of his Bechor. And not only that, he didn't just get rid of it. Right? If he got rid of it because he was hungry, a man is hungry, a man's crazy. Okay, we gave him food. He should say, "Oh man, this was a bad deal. Can I get my Bechor back? I'll pay for the soup instead." Instead, he said, "Vayivez Esav et haBechora." What time is it? 9 o'clock. So what did he do? He said, It says 9, so it's 4 minutes fast. So Vayivez Esav et haBechora, he totally didn't want it. So if that's the case, who's the rightful Bechor? The rightful Bechor now becomes Yaakov. So this was perfect. And Leah said, I'm not a Ramai either. I followed your footsteps. I did what I had to do because that's it. That's what it was. Exactly. Why?
Because she tricked the tricker.
So did she trick or did she prevent from having the husband be stolen?
She deceived.
But how? She deceived in what way? She deceived it in a way that I did what you did. You answered. Are you Esav? He said, yeah. Is Rachel? Yeah. Apparently they had equal voice. They couldn't tell. Okay. Now we're going to go to one last part.
Yaakov and Esav had the same voice.
Also, let's do one last part. Tar omed b'nei Lavan. So b'nei Lavan, we're going to go to the end, almost the ending. Yeah. Ume'ata, and now tar omed b'nei Lavan. She'amru lakach Yaakov. Yaakov took et kol asher la'avinu, everything from our father. Right? Asher la'avinu. Right away, Zera Shimshon says, excuse me, why are you saying twice, Asher la'avinu, Asher la'avinu? Because over there, they admitted, our father stole everything from Yaakov. Our father stole everything from Yaakov. And now Yaakov is taking it from our father. So they admitted. They admitted. The only one place here that one ta'ana, one complaint of deceit was when Yaakov left. Yaakov left, there's no problem. Lavan actually says, you did good, you preempted. He writes at the end over here, you did good, according to the Ritva. You did good. You know I'm going to trick you, so you didn't tell me and you left. That's fine. His only complaint was, why did you take from me the teraphim, the god, the idols? That was the only one thing. He said, I got it, you never stole. And that's the proof. he agreed to him because he said, you never stole from me. Everything you did was preventative, because the question is, it looks like he stole, right? He took all the animals. No, that was again, according to the Ritva, preventative measures. What was the preventative measures? In order not to get bamboozled out of his maskoret, out of his pay, they made deals. Who came and switched all the deals over and over and over again? Lavan did that. So he was the one that was trying. Yaakov just did preemptive. That's what a tzaddik is allowed to do. That's how we live our life out here. When we have to deal with such people out there, you're not allowed to become them. You can't stoop down to their level. You can't be like that. But you're totally allowed to. And that's the genius of Yaakov. He figured this out, and he did whatever he had to do. As the next parsha will say, in Lavan Garti, I lived over there, and I was able to prevent all the problems, not just physical, but even the spiritual. Nothing bothered me. I kept all the mitzvot. And then also, just want to finish off, that Rachel gave away the secrets, and that burning that she had inside her, that she's going to lose Yaakov, that burn, she could have regretted, or she could have done. No, she went and prayed with that. And Hashem says, B'zchut Rachel, you're going to save all the children on Mashiach. That's the reason why, and that's where we learn from. That's the makor. If someone gets made fun of, and you don't take action back, and they tell them, don't say anything, just give me a bracha, just give me a bracha, give me a bracha. That's the reason, because they actually took the emotional build-up, they took the actual, real emotion there, and you took it and you used it for the right thing. Kadosh Baruch Hu blesses you and gives you a bracha through that. Thank you all for listening.